Why Rich Dad Poor Dad didn't make you rich. Most people miss this step. You read Rich Dad Poor Dad. You were inspired. You understood the difference between assets and liabilities. You promised yourself you'd escape the rat race. But months, maybe even years later, you're still not rich. So what happened? Did the book lie? Not exactly. The truth is, Rich Dad Poor Dad gave you the mindset shift, but most people miss the next step. Let's break it down. 1. Rich Dad Poor Dad is a philosophy, not a blueprint. Robert Kiyosaki's book does something powerful. It changes how you think about money. He introduces ideas like buying assets, not liabilities, escaping the paycheck cycle, making money work for you, building passive income, and for most readers, it's the first time they've questioned the system. But here's the truth. Philosophy is the beginning, not the plan. You can't build wealth on mindset alone. Believing in assets doesn't make them appear. Thinking like an investor doesn't make you one. Reading the book lights the fire. But unless you take strategic action, it'll burn out. 2. The book oversimplifies a complex game. Buy assets, not liabilities. Sounds easy, right? But what's an asset, really? A rental property? A business? A dividend stock? A digital product? And how do you buy one safely? How do you manage risk? What about taxes, inflation, legal structures? Rich Dad Poor Dad paints the big picture, but skips the how. Wealth building isn't a one-size-fits-all checklist. It's a skill set, a process, a system. And without learning the actual mechanics, you stay stuck at mindset level, motivated, but motionless. 3. Most people don't build a real asset machine. Let's be brutally honest. After reading the book, did you actually start investing in income-producing assets? Launch a business or acquire one? Create a plan to replace your earned income? Most people don't. They feel inspired but overwhelmed. They want to buy assets, but they go back to life, bills, and excuses. Because here's the part nobody talks about. Wealth is built by systems, not emotions. You don't become rich from inspiration. You become rich from automation, a system that earns, reinvests, and grows even when you're not working. The rich don't hustle forever. They build engines that do the heavy lifting. 4. You need education beyond the book. Rich Dad Poor Dad isn't a financial education. It's a spark. But after the spark, you need technical knowledge. The stuff most schools, and even the book, don't teach. How to analyze cash flow, how to read financial statements, how to evaluate risk, how to use leverage, how to build scalable systems, how to use tax laws legally to your advantage, how to protect assets. The rich don't stop at mindset. They study the game, and they play it better than anyone else. If you want to escape the rat race, you need to study more than just quotes. You need to master the tools. 5. Wealth requires execution, not just ideas. Here's the step almost everyone misses. Taking messy, uncomfortable, real-world action. Ideas are clean. Execution is messy. Buying your first rental property? Nerve-wracking. Launching your first product? Confusing. Learning to invest in stocks? Overwhelming. But that's the price of real wealth. The rich take action. They fail, adjust, and keep building. Most people? They read a book, get excited, and stop at the idea. No risk, no exposure, no real progress. Reading isn't the finish line. It's the warm-up. 6. The book doesn't teach emotional discipline. Wealth isn't just numbers. It's psychology. You can know what to do, and still fail. Why? Because you panic in a market crash, overspend when income rises, procrastinate launching a business, chase trends instead of sticking to a strategy. Rich Dad Poor Dad talks about mindset. But it doesn't show you how to stay disciplined for years, delay gratification, handle fear, boredom, or loss, build consistency when motivation fades. And that's the real challenge of wealth. It's not about what you know, it's about how you behave. 7. The rich follow up with real mentors and models. After reading Rich Dad Poor Dad, Robert didn't just write books. He built businesses. He invested. He surrounded himself with smart people. That's what most readers never do. They stay isolated. They rely on motivation instead of systems. They consume content instead of executing strategy. The rich have teams, mentors, coaches, and models. They don't try to figure it out alone. That's the difference between knowing the game and playing it to win. Conclusion. The book was a door, but you still have to walk through it. Rich Dad Poor Dad didn't make you rich because it was never supposed to. It's not a get-rich guide. It's a perspective shift. A red pill. A wake-up call. The reason you're not rich isn't because the book failed. It's because you stopped at the lesson and skipped the work. The next step is on you. Build your first income-producing asset, learn the actual skills of investing, business, and scaling, create a system that grows without you. Get mentorship, execution, and accountability, because mindset is the key that unlocks the door. But wealth is on the other side, and you still have to walk through. If this hit you in the gut, good. That means you're ready to go deeper. Like, comment, and subscribe for more real money truths, and share this with someone who thinks a book alone will make them rich. It won't. But this next chapter just might.